Hello, hello, and welcome to the Holistic Witch's Cottage. My name is Melissa, and I am the Holistic Witch, and I have much to talk about today. So, I'm taking some podcasting lessons, per se, from my son who has his own podcast out there now with his friends, and so I want to give a little shout out and plug to Christopher. Their podcast is called The Potato Basement, and they talk about mostly role-playing video games and stuff related to that world. So if that's something that you're interested in, it is not PG-13 friendly like mine is, so be prepared for some of that. But if that's something that interests you, you might want to take a look at the Potato Basement, and they are on Spotify. So the lessons that I'm receiving from Christopher was like, Mom, you never talk about like what your podcast is about, so how are people supposed to know? I don't know. I thought it was kind of in the title, but I guess I'll work on that. So today's podcast will be about my life of homesteading, mysticism, magic, a touch of the paranormal, and unfortunately today a little bit of politics. I hate to talk about it, but in my holistic world, everything's connected, and we really can't avoid the political side sometimes. So I want to start with what was going on last week. So some of you know from social media, my family was on vacation. Christopher went with us the first several days, and he's enrolled in an online trade school college program, so he had to come back home for school. But my husband and I and Momo the Wonder Dog stayed out there in the campground for the remainder of the week. So we are located in the beautiful mountains of central Pennsylvania. So in our part of the world, we're just starting to experience the beginning tastes of autumn. So the leaves were starting to change, and since we were there for a full week, we did get to notice the changes day by day, which was sort of interesting. Now, I absolutely love autumn camping. Unfortunately, in our part of the world, and especially where we camp, you need to make reservations at least a year out to get a good campsite in a desirable location. And because we have some medical needs, we always take electrical sites because we need to charge medical equipment. And so we need an electrical site that is pet friendly. And unfortunately in our state, in the state parks, it can be hard to find campsites that meet both of those requirements. Electrical sites might be available, but they may not be available for pets, or there are many sites available that are pet friendly, but they do not have electric hookups. We used to tent camp and we never cared about having electric, but we're older now and we have some different needs, so it's just part of the game. So it was awesome to be able to do a full week of autumn camping. Due to some health problems, we made our reservations later than usual this year because we didn't know what we were getting into. So scheduling was a real problem. So we ended up with a week in September, which we've never done before. And honestly, this may be my preferred way to do it. Last year we camped in 103 degrees. Camping in 68 to 72 degree weather with the crisp fall air was just about perfect for me. So that was pretty awesome. So we spent a lot of time hiking. We went out and discovered a few new trails and a few new updates to the park. The lake in the center of the park that we prefer, I guess, is about 16 miles. It's not like a straight lake. I know there's a word for it. I can't remember now, but like it's a three-finger lake or something. I don't know. If you looked at it on the map, it's odd looking. It's not long and rectangular or circular with shoreline. It's an oddly shaped body of water. And my husband and I have both been camping and visiting that park for many, many, many years. His family camped there when he was a child, and my family didn't camp, but we visited that park. So between us, we've probably been going there more than 100 years, totally accumulated. And there are still parts of that park that we haven't discussed. So we were exploring some trails we had never gone to before, and we were discovering some new updates to the park. They added some new camping areas, and so that was really cool to explore. During our week, we didn't see as much wildlife as we have before. I think some of it's moving on in migration patterns, but I did get some cool videos of the juvenile eagles that we've been watching all season. My husband and my son had kayaked out and actually saw their nest when they were chicks, and now they've been kicked out of the nest and they're doing their own hunting. And I got a video where it was really close to me. I was sitting at the picnic table hanging out with Momo, and hubby was out on the lake in the kayak. I think maybe he was with me, I don't remember, but I guess he was in for a minute, and I'm whispering on the camera, "It's right there. It's right next to me. It's coming right next to me." Yeah, I guess we agreed that it was probably like 20 to 25 feet away from us, just hanging out with the eagles. So that was cool. We had a weird encounter. I'll probably say this critter wrong. A cormorant, which is a duck-looking creature. We thought it was injured because sometimes they get tied up in fishing line, and we try to rescue critters when we can. I know we're not supposed to mess with them, but if they're drowning because they're caught in fishing line, we're probably going to cut them free if we can get to them. So we were hanging out with the cormorant. Turns out it was perfectly fine. They were just a little more standoffish than the other ones. Not standoffish in an aggressive way, but just we got right up to it and it didn't seem to care. It just like doing its thing, floating on the water. So that was pretty awesome. The butterflies and the dragonflies are still doing their thing, but the monarch migration has started. So those guys will be leaving our area. On Thursday, this will tie in with the semi-political part of today's podcast. On Thursday, we decided to travel up to Loretto to the Fatima Shrine again. I know I took some gripe about this last time, but my husband and I still do identify as followers of Jesus, but not necessarily as right-wing Christians. We're way more on the progressive side, but we are strong followers of Jesus and have a great appreciation for religious art. So we like to go to the gardens, and I have this strong connection with Mary the Mother and Mary Magdalene, and I like to go up there and say prayers occasionally. So the last time we had gone was right after my surgery, and we had a little cancer scare, and that all turned out fine and wonderfully. So we decided to go back up and say some prayers and some thank yous and donate a little bit to that project, because they do such a beautiful job with the gardens up there. And I'm getting ahead of myself, but I had included the family of Charlie Kirk in my prayers and intentions when I went up there, and that angered some people on social media, that I was including that family in my prayers. And what I'm just going to say about that is I'm always going to operate on the side of shining my light and on Hope Core and trying to make the world a better, brighter place. And I cannot condone gun violence, politically incited gun violence, or whatever caused that situation. I cannot condone that. I did not know who Charlie Kirk was until probably about an hour after the incident. We were at the lake. We were on kayaks when it happened. I was taking a shade break with Momo and checked my phone because we have pretty good phone signal at the boat launch. And I saw some posts about this, and somebody asked me what my opinion was about it. I had to look up who he was. If that offends anyone, I'm sorry. I don't follow political influencers. I don't follow pro football anymore because it was bashed into my head as a child. And I really don't follow country music. So if, people have been mad at me in the past because I don't know anything about those topics. If you want to talk Star Trek, I'm your girl. If you want to talk country music or TikTok, I'm probably not the person for you to have that discussion with, because I know very little about those things. But I did take some time to look up and learn some information about Charlie Kirk and his organization. And I saw some videos that did not resonate with me. And I saw some other videos that I didn't disagree with what he had to say. And it seems to depend on who his audience was at the time. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but he seemed to be good at playing the crowd. So if it was a more moderate audience, he seemed to be more moderate. And if it was an enraged audience, he was good at that. My prayers are with his wife and the children. I never want any family to have to experience anything like that. So I did say prayers for them at the shrine. The next day, I don't feel like that's any betrayal to my values. I didn't and I don't agree with everything that he had broadcasted. But that doesn't mean that I can't have compassion for a family's loss of the husband and father. So I guess I'll leave that topic there for right now. So after visiting the shrine, they were having an event on Saturday, so there were some gardeners and they have some construction going on. So we actually weren't there very long. But we went about a mile away to St. Michael's Basilica. I've posted pictures of this before. There is a lot of folklore in my part of the world, and there's folklore within my mom's side of the family. Probably the other side too, I'm just not so familiar with that. But like vampire lore, werewolf lore, things like that. So there is a memorial to a convent on the other side of Loretto. And there is a little bit of lore associated with that, with vampire nuns. So I just find that absolutely fascinating. So I love to go there. They had put some fall flowers out. So I was enjoying that and enjoying the statues and the fountain. And they have a Stations of the Cross path, not exactly a labyrinth, but just a path from where the vampire nun statue is down to a very old cemetery. So I told my husband I was probably going to wander through the stations for a while. And it's like carved wooden icons, and I love icons, so I just wanted to admire the artwork and maybe pray a little more. And my husband was going down to the cemetery. Now, it's very old, and there are graves from the Revolutionary War in this cemetery. So he was going down there, and I took some pictures once I arrived. And there were some really interesting vibes in the cemetery. And I'm thinking, here we are in a cemetery that is dedicated to the Revolutionary War. There are gravestones here from the 1700s of men who were literally fighting to establish this country in its freedom from the other country that it was a possession of at that time. I don't want to get too political about it, but it made me think about where we are in the split and division we're at now. So there were graves from the Revolutionary War. There's also graves from the Civil War. And I really don't want to see a repeat of this. I hope that those in charge with much higher pay grade than I have can find a way to come together so the division and the separation in this country is decreased or disappears. At our hearts, I hope and I pray that we all want the same things. We just want to live our lives and be happy and hopefully not cause any harm along the way. At least I hope that. And so it was kind of enlightening to me to walk through a cemetery with graves and memorials to the Revolutionary War and then the Civil War, and then thinking where we're at today, and that I received death threats because people just perceive that I don't believe in their way of life, so that means that gives them the right to threaten me. I don't attack anyone's way of life. I make habitat and grow flowers and bake bread. I live a really simple life. I enjoy kayaking, and I love my little dog, and I hope I was a good mom to my kids as they were growing up. And you know, if your beliefs in politics are different than mine, that's fine. Like, I don't have enemies. I don't attack anybody. So I don't understand why people think it's okay to attack me for not being filled with hate. I will never be filled with hate. I just can't do it. So let's move on to the next topic. So autumn is coming in the north and spring is coming in the southern hemispheres. I won't be talking too much about spring, but autumn is coming. Like I said, it was beautiful to be in the crisp air at the campground. I believe September 22nd is the official astronomical day of the equinox, and that can be a time when the veil is thin, and I like to do prayers and meditation when the veil is thin, and I also do some spirit work and spirit channeling. For those of you that think it's spooky, it's not something that I can turn off. It just happens. It is one of my gifts and abilities along with my other clairs. So it's not like I went out and learned how to do this. It's just something that happens. So when the veil is thin, sometimes I see and perceive things other people don't. And that tends to upset people sometimes, but it just is what it is. So the equinox is coming. Fall equinox, the name on the wheel of the year is pronounced differently in parts of the world. You may see it pronounced as Mabon, spelled M-A-B-O-N, or Maybon, spelled the same way. And I've seen it spelled with a Y in it too, M-A-Y-B-O-N. However you're pronouncing it is your choice. It is the wheel of the year name label for the fall equinox. So for fall equinox, my family usually goes and visits a nearby Grange fair, which is different than our county fair, which is a big spectacle. The Grange fair is smaller. It's more dedicated to small town life, I guess. You won't see big name performers there. We do go there to watch lawnmower tractor pulls. Yes, that's a real thing. And then we like to wander through the barn and look at people's baked goods and jars of jelly. And I'm a fiber artist, so I love to look at the crochet and knitting and quilts. And then the other side of the barn is the produce. We are not entering anything this year. I think we have produce that we could have entered, but there's a lot involved in that and a lot of running and travel, and you have to go up every day, and it's kind of a long ride. So we're not entering anything this year, but I love to look at the flowers and things that enter. So that's how I celebrate fall equinox, and we'll probably have some pumpkin flavored yummies. And I'm pretty sure a pumpkin spice latte is in my future too. So if you celebrate the Wheel of the Year holidays or the Sabbats, this is the third of the harvest or gratitude. No, I think I'm wrong. I'm sorry. It's the second one. It's the second harvest or gratitude celebration. The third being Samhain or Halloween. And this one is like big for apples, apple picking, and the corn mazes and things are starting to open. So I love this time of year. I love fall. I love everything to do with fall. I love the crispy weather. And I love to make fall simmer pots. So I'm sure there will be an apple, sage, and spice simmer pot in my future. So what else is there to talk about today? Everything's connected. I touched on the political thing a little bit. I thought I might go more into that. I think I'll leave that today. I think I'm okay with it. Maybe I'll talk about it more next time. I know a lot of people are struggling with that event and the repercussions of that event, and I just want to send you grace and peace and prayers that everything's going to be okay for our country and for the world. I'm going a little longer than I usually do. There was another thing I wanted to talk about, and it has slipped my mind, so I guess I'll put it in on an upcoming podcast. We are now officially on Podbean and Spotify and working through the checklist to get approved for YouTube. Each one has their own rules. So we're working through the checklist, and it's not an instantaneous thing. If I was to create on YouTube, I think it would be instantaneous, but because I actually create on Podbean, there's some hoops to jump through. I thought we would be up on YouTube last week. We're still pending. So hopefully this week. If anyone has any questions or wants a shout out, you can contact me on Facebook on the Holistic Witches Cottage, or on my sister group, which is Yoga and Time, where I mostly concentrate just on holistic health. And or if you don't like social media, you can email me on Gmail at theholisticwitch, spelled with a Y, at gmail.com. I think that's all for today. After a week-long camping trip, there's always so much cleanup and work to do. I'm a little bit exhausted, and I had a little bit of a belly bug, a tummy bug, or maybe it was bad takeout food during the week. So I'm still recovering from that. So wherever you are, I wish you well. I wish you many blessings on your journey and much love. And next time, I guess we'll talk about my trip to the fair. And if you have something to share, let me know. Blessings and bye-bye.